It has been 4 years since the crisis in Flint, Michigan with their water took place. And now, after all this time, the prosecutors in the case who were looking for criminal activity on behalf of the government and other factors such as private companies, etc., have announced that they are dropping all charges. Now, the reason they are doing so is they note interference by the lawyers for the potential defendants. The investigative approach and legal theories embraced by the former Office of Special Counsel that oversaw the investigation, according to a press release issued by the Michigan Department Attorney General. The OSC was appointed by the former Attorney General Bill Schutt. The OSC entered into agreements that gave private law firms that were representing the accused a role in deciding what information would be turned over to law enforcement, according to the release. Now, the prosecutors did note in a press release that the voluntary dismissal is not a determination of any of the defendant's criminal responsibility. Prosecutors are not precluded from filing charges against defendants in the future. Now, what this essentially means is there was a prosecution process. There was the evidence that was collected. Now, the prosecutors or the people involved were entering into negotiations with the people they were going to charge or potentially charge in deciding what evidence can be shown and what evidence can't. I mean, that would be really great if I was charged with something and I could negotiate over what evidence was used against me. That'd be really awesome. That's kind of the thing that only someone with power and money with really great connections can possibly work out. I mean, what's clear to me and clear to a lot of people as well is a direct interference in the justice system by the wealthy elite, who very probably are guilty in this situation. I mean, you don't negotiate with what evidence can be used against you unless you're, well, there's evidence against you that you did something wrong. I mean, when this was announced to the public, many of the residents were worried that guilty people who were guilty in the situation, would walk free. And for quite a while, it seemed like that was going to be the case. So initially, when this was announced, it seemed like everybody had just gotten off scot-free. But they said there probably will be charges brought against them in the future. But this does show how perverse the American legal system is, or the justice system is, and that people with power and money can influence decisions and influence trials. Of course, this is nothing new. I mean, we already know that. But it's important to point this out when it happens so that people fully understand the gravity of the corruption. I mean, is that really corruption if that's the very nature of the thing itself? Is this a crooked legal system? Or is this what the legal system actually is? And I think it's important to differentiate between the two, because if you believe that this is some kind of aberrant behavior, this is just some kind of corruption that got into the system, then you get the feeling that you can reform it, or you get the idea that you can do it. But if you understand that this is the very nature of the system itself, then you get the idea or the realization that you have to get rid of the system itself and replace it with a new one. There's a big difference between believing in reform and believing in revolution. That's a very important concept that a lot of the left in the United States in particular has certainly forgotten. And of course, there's always the greatness of understanding that this all happens in the context of capitalism. The people who own capital wield power inside that same system, but that really should be obvious at this point. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.